Okay, this is a good question. It's a very important question. When I was researching this book, I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of eyewitness accounts and accounts of people who saved others, people who saved strangers. And every single time, they were asked, why did you do this? Why did you risk your life to do this? They said, what choice did I have? In other words, they knew what was right and they had to do it. So what does that tell us? I mean, so people have done studies about this, of course, psychological studies, sociological studies, etc. And they say that most of the time, those people have had a very strong moral upbringing. That when they were a child, they were taught how to be good, what good meant. And so for them, it was ingrained. It was part of who they are. And I think that it is true that morality is like a muscle, and you have to exercise that muscle. If we think that suddenly we will know the right thing to do in an emergency when our hand is asked for, I don't think that's the case. I think we have to practice what morality is. And I think that literature, in literature, that is a good way to practice your morality. So for him, yes, I think there was a basic instinctive response. Here is a child who needs my help. Am I going to leave the child, abandon the child who needs my help? For him, I don't think that was at all possible. And, he had no children of his own. He was on his own. His wife had died. So there were reasons, and the book suggested, it says, who was the vine and who was, who needed who. They needed each other. So there were of course reasons, other reasons, emotional reasons, but basically I think at that very instant of finding the boy, he could not turn his back on the child. And to me, that's very moving. That is a very moving moment.
But if I understand you correctly, he wasn't even thinking about it if it was like he wasn't thinking about it whether it was the right thing to do or not.
Instinct.
It was like what a human should do, and he did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
But do you think so? This book was said back in the day, but do you think like people now would still do some such thing, or they're just too selfish? Maybe because the world has changed quite a bit. So do you still have faith in humanity to ask this way? Maybe.
I do have faith in humanity. I think that, ironically, the more I look into these questions, the more faith I have, which is not what I would have told you or would have thought when I began looking into history in this way. I would have thought the opposite. And it's astonishing that after so many decades of working at these questions, that my faith is actually greater. I think that we have to make ourselves vulnerable. I think art is a very important way to do that. I think literature is a very important way to do that. Music is a way to do that. I think that that we can't separate our emotions from how we think about things. We tend to separate emotion from ideas. And I think that's a dangerous thing. I think that we need to understand that ideas have consequence. So when I write, I'm trying constantly to bring an emotional truth to the intellectual idea. To answer that question, I do have faith. I have faith in you.